Welcome to Artistic Adventures. We're going to continue our Evil Queen project with part 3, and we're going to do a face-up on this 17-inch doll. So we have this picture that we're going to use basically as our plan, and one of the things that I want to make sure I do with this doll's face is give her a look that's sort of, I guess, it's one of those expressions where it could be evil or it could go the other way because that's kind of how I see Evil Queen Regina. It's like she can go either way. It just depends on her mood or what's going on. But basically, I just want to give her sort of an intriguing look that is not all sweetness like a lot of the doll faces that I've done recently. I want there to be an element that, ooh, this woman could just go nuclear if just the wrong thing happened. So that will be a challenge, but that'll be a fun challenge. So I'm already started here, but I did prepare her face with some coats of matte medium, the Liquitex. I mixed with just a little bit of water and I sprayed on using my airbrush. And I'm using Derwent watercolor pencils. And right now I'm just mapping out her face. And I did go back and change her eyes. I had them staring straight forward, but I decided that for the look I want them to be looking over to one side, sort of a little bit of a mischievous or mysterious look, I think that gives it. And I did use a Faber Castell watercolor pen on the whites, and I didn't think the color was applying very well, so I went back to the Derwent. Although I have to say, I think Derwent pencils are a little bit softer. They do tend to break a little bit easier, but I like the color that they put down. So maybe one day I'll just do a sort of a review of both pencils side by side. Maybe do one face and one set of pencils and one in the other. I think that probably they're both, fine to use, whatever you personally like. But anyway, I'm going to finish the rest of this with my Derwent pencils and some pastels. And her eyes are brown. They're pretty dark brown. I know in this picture, at least, there's a hint of almost a redness to them. I don't know if that's maybe the camera and the way it was shot, but they are pretty dark brown. Although I'm putting a light golden color at the bottom, I am putting a darker brown at the top. And then I even went back later and put even a little bit of black up there to darken it up just a little bit. I actually used 3 colors of brown on her eyes. I used a really dark brown at the top, a medium brown in the middle, and then that golden color at the bottom just to give it some reflective quality. And I did use some of the brown to make strokes in it, and I did add a little bit of red, just a touch. So one thing I noticed while I was doing this doll's face is that I really can't see close up as well as I thought I could. Yeah, so what was me thinking I can't draw very well was really me not being able to see very well. I don't think I'm the best artist, but I noticed when I put on my glasses, I was really able to see where the pencils were going. So I had nearsightedness, and I've worn glasses for that, but I've always been able to see up close, I thought, until I started really looking at this doll's face. And so I put on some readers for close up, and then I guess what I'm developing is an ability to see at medium range well, but not close up and not far away. That's great getting old, isn't it? So anyway, I felt like I was doing a little bit better job after I put the glasses on. And now I'm starting to put some black in and darkening up the outline of her eyes. Had some trouble with this black pencil breaking more than the others for some reason. I was trying to keep it really sharp too. So I left the waterline mark in brown and I did the underlying eye mark in black. And then I did sort of mark the waterline with some white and pink. And I am going to give this doll some real lashes instead of drawing them on the top. I'm going to draw the lashes on the bottom, but uh, I'll do that in the final video after I do the wig because I don't want to knock them off. So I'm doing her eyebrows, and they have a distinct shape to them. They sort of go up sort of straight and then curve around. And I think they really add to her somewhat sinister look, or her ability to go nuclear look. Um, and also she's got black hair, so her lashes are, I'm drawing them in black. I did sort of pencil them in a little bit in the brown just to see where the shape should go, but they definitely need to be black. And the other part of this was the shading of her eye is, there's a little bit of brown shading, like I guess like an eyeshadow, but then she has some red at the corner. And now I'm using some pastels to do the blush on her cheek, and she has pretty defined cheekbones, so I'm kind of putting the blush in the contour area to sort of suck in her cheeks just a little bit. These Monster High dolls have really big heads, really roundy heads, and so I put a little bit of brown actually at the bottom of the red color. So gave her a little bit more of a chiseled look. And I'm also going to use the pastels to do the shading on her eyes. So I'm going in first with some brown above the crease. And after I do that, I'm going to add some red at the corner. And then I did go back in with a white pencil and just do a little bit of highlighting right under the brow and trying to make it similar to this picture. Obviously, it's not going to be exactly like it, but as similar as I can with the shape of this doll's face. I think if we get the right expression and the general coloring and eye and brow shape right, it'll be pretty close once we get the lashes on. Because she has like really, really long false lashes on in her as her character. The other thing is she usually has really dark red lips, and I don't think I'll be able to achieve that with either the pencils or the pastels. So I'm actually going to paint the red color on her lips, and I'll do that really kind of at the last thing. So now I'm putting some lashes, little tiny lashes on the bottom. I'm not going to put any on the top. I will be putting false lashes on her later, probably in the final video when we do the final look and touch up. And basically I'm just darkening some things now, making sure I have all the right colors and the right shapes. And I did put a little more darkness up on the top of the iris too. Doing some shading around on the face, some uh, blush over the cupid's bow, under the lip, bottom lip. I did put a little bit of blue, light blue on either side of the nose. There's usually, people mostly have a shadow there. And put a little bit of dark blue under the bottom lashes. Not a great deal, but a little bit. And doing a little bit more whitening around of the eyes and just some final touches before we put the lip paint on. So there's how she's looking at this point, and I'm just going to use some crimson acrylic paint to draw in her lips in the same shape as best I can tell from this picture. And after we seal her face with the matte finish, I'll put some gloss on the lips. So there's basically the finished look. And we're going to put a little sparkle in her eye. And I'm just using a really long, actually these are nail art brushes. I love using them for the pastels. So there's our finished face up. And now I'm going to take her outside and spray her face with the Krylon UV Protectant Matte Finish. And I've done that and brought her back in and let it dry. And now I'm using the Liquitex High Gloss Varnish to put 2 coats on her eyes and on her lips to give those a glossy look. And then they look a little bit more like they would in real life. All right, so there's our face up. As you see, I think we've achieved that kind of possibly going evil look, possibly not. We don't know. But we have lots more to come. We're going to do the wig next and get her hair styled. And after that, we'll do a final video. So subscribe and don't miss a thing. Bye.